Today's episode is going to be good. We're going to be talking about why you should let go of your ex or your SP, which is your special person or your specific person that you so want to be with, and what you should do instead to cultivate and attract that love that you want, need, yearn for, and deserve. Okay, so let's dive in. The first reason why you should let go of your ex, or you should really not put your energy, time, and effort into pursuing your special person, which is basically just, in the manifestation world, we call it SP. That's your specific person. That's your special person. That's either an ex or that's someone in your life that you want to be with in a romantic way, whether or not you've ever dated them. Maybe it's been a situationship, maybe it's been friends with benefits, maybe it's just been a friendship, but it's someone that you really want that romantic relationship with. So if you're not there yet with that person and you're feeling conflicted, you're feeling confused, you're feeling not chosen, I think the best thing to do is to take that person off of the pedestal. Because what is happening is that you are making that person the prize in your life. You're making that person up here and you're down here. And you're trying to do everything you can to get that person to want you, love you, or choose you. So do you see how unbalanced that is? You are basically putting yourself secondary. You're putting yourself beneath them, and you're putting your ex, your SP on a pedestal. And that's not what we do in our lives. In our lives, you are the number one person. In our lives, you are the one who is the head person in charge in your life. So no one should be above you at all. And usually what happens is when we think that our ex or our SP is moving away from us, we get we think it's intuitive, but it's actually counterintuitive. We get the feeling to go even more. So we want to text them more. We want to give them gifts. We want to call them more. We want to show up more. We want more. Because we think the more we give, the more we pursue, the more we do all that, then they'll have to love us back in return. But what you're actually doing is you're pushing them away. Because if you are chasing someone, that means they're running away from you, right? So, and I totally get it. I've been there. I think we've all been there. When you feel that person that you like, you feel them pulling away, you get that anxious attachment style and you want to do more to get them. But you should actually do the opposite. If you have an ex or an XP and they're distant, they're not really trying to commit, don't become the pursuer. Don't chase. Don't do the most. Don't do more. Let them go. T.D. Jakes said it best: the people who leave your life are not connected to your destiny. And if you stay stuck or chained to someone who you're not supposed to be connected to, that will literally bring you down. But if someone is actually meant to be in your life, is important in you fulfilling your destiny and you becoming the highest version of yourself, they may leave now, but they will be brought back. So it's your job to let them go. And while you let them go, create a safe space for yourself and compassionate space for yourself. So this is what you should do instead. Instead of chasing your ex or SP, instead of, trying to prove your worth, instead of putting them on a pedestal, you need to reverse it. You need to put yourself on the pedestal. Don't stalk them on social media. Don't check their stories, their posts, see who they're friends with, who they're not friends with. Don't post any subliminals thinking that this quote is going to get them to come back to you or whatever it is. Take a break. I'm not saying you have to block. I'm not saying you have to unfollow, but do whatever it is you need to do where you're not consistently seeing photos of them and pictures of them and videos of them. And then you start to create stories about what that means. Oh, they must be happier with somebody else. Oh, they must be happy that they're not with me. All of that stuff, right? And that leads into you thinking, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm unlovable. What's wrong with me that they don't want to be with me? And that's simply not true. There's nothing wrong with you. That's why we really want to cultivate our self-love, our self-worth, and our self-concept. And our self-concept is just what it is that you think about yourself. What do you know about yourself to be true, right? We don't give it to other people. We don't give away our power. We don't let other people decide our value and our worth. An example of this that I like to use is, say I was a jewelry seller, right? Say I had a jewelry shop, and in this hand I had a diamond that was worth $20 million. I mean, this diamond is flawless, amazing, and great. And then in my other hand, I also had a diamond that was worth $20 million. It was flawless, amazing, and great, right? And say, Joe Schmo off the street walks in and he's like, oh, I'm looking for a flawless diamond. And I'm like, perfect, I have two. I have one in my right hand and I have one in my left hand. Which one do you want? He looks him over, and he goes, all right, I'm going to go with the one in your right hand. I'm like, okay, cool, here you go. Give me my $20 million. He takes the diamond and leaves. Does the fact that he chose the diamond in the right hand mean that the diamond in my left hand is any less valuable? That answer is no. And that's how you have to think about yourself. You are the diamond. Your value and your worth is intrinsic. And by intrinsic, I mean it just is because you are. It is there. Somebody else's mood, choice, decision, whatever it is, does not take away your intrinsic and inherent value. The fact that Joe Schmo off the street just happened to pick a different diamond does not mean the other diamond is any less worthy or valuable. And the right person will choose it. And that's how you have to think about yourself. You are the diamond. And nobody's decision, mood, or choice at any given moment, because we can never control anybody else. So don't think that their moods or feelings or whatever it is decides what your value is, because that's simply not true. So look at yourself as that diamond, intrinsically worthy, intrinsically valuable, and nobody else's opinion or choice can take away its value. Unless you give it away. Unless then I decide, oh, well, you know what? Joe Schmo didn't buy this diamond. I'm going to knock it down to 10 million, to 5 million, to 1 million. That's me giving away the power. So don't give away your power or value. That's how you have to look at it. You're the diamond. You're on the pedestal. So instead of thinking this X or this specific person isn't into me, that means there's something wrong with me. No, that just means that is that particular person's choice in this particular moment. It is not an indication of my value and my worth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to respect that person's opinion, choice in this moment, and I'm going to focus on myself. So instead of chasing, instead of pursuing, instead of getting wrapped up in their social media, instead of worrying about who they're seeing, who they're not seeing, what they're doing, what they're not doing, take all of that energy, time, and psyche and focus it back to yourself. Work on your self-love. Do self-love guided meditation. Start journaling. Make out your goals for the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to a year. Go to therapy, go to counseling, lean on your friends, do fun stuff with your friends, start exercising, start working out, start working on yourself, do a style change. I'm not saying you need to change anything about yourself in order to attract a person. That's not what I mean. I mean, take care of yourself, do something new, dye your hair, cut it, try a different outfit out, do your makeup, do your makeup a different way, whatever it is. Again, we're not doing these things in order to be worthy of someone else. We're already worthy enough. We're doing these things to show ourselves love and appreciation for who we are. It's I love myself, therefore I take care of myself, right? It's not I need to do all of this in order to be better for somebody else, right? So we have to really remember that mindset. We're not working out, we're not, glowing up to be better for somebody else. That's not it. We're working out, we're getting our goals, we're hanging out with good people, we're glowing up because that's what we deserve to do in ourselves. And when you focus all of that time and energy and psyche that you've been putting in chasing and pursuing someone, then you create the space for clarity. So then you become the chooser rather than feeling like someone isn't choosing you. Then you have the place of clarity of, is this even a person who is worthy of me? Switch the dynamic. Instead of thinking this person has to choose me, please pick me, please choose me, you get in the place of, do I actually choose you? Are you actually the person that's right for me? Are you actually in a place to be the partner that I know that I am worthy of and deserve? Put yourself on the pedestal. This other person is not on the pedestal. You are. So when you take them off the pedestal, you let them go, you use your time, energy, and psyche to level up your self-love, your confidence, your self-esteem, focusing on your self, then you create a space for clarity. And then you become the chooser rather than having to beg someone to choose you, because you've already chosen yourself. And you don't need anybody else to validate your worthiness. You are the diamond. What it also does, it also creates the space for a better version of that person, your ex, your SP, to show up for you. Because as long as you are operating from a low frequency of choose me, pick me, want me, love me, the only way that that person can energetically show up for you is on that low frequency. So if you want to be pursued, if you want to be chosen, if you want to be adored, if you want all of that stuff, then energetically you have to become that so you can attract it. You're not going to attract a better version of your ex or your SP as long as you are in this low self-esteem, low vibration, not enoughness. Because you're going to attract that, because that's what you're putting out. So if you want your ex, if you want your specific person to show up differently in your world, you have to work internally to become a person that knows that I'm only available for a commitment. I'm only available for respect. I'm only available to be chosen and pursued and chased and adored. That's the only reality that I'm available to. But like everything in life, it starts with you. It starts within. You show people how they can treat you. You condition people how they can treat you. And it starts with you internally. It's not you necessarily saying it to the person, but it's you creating that intention and knowingness within yourself. And then energetically you show up differently. So if you want all those things, it starts with you. And it also creates the space for someone better to show up. Because a lot of times when we work on ourselves, we have our confidence up, our self-love up, our self-concept up, our worthiness up. A lot of times we don't even want what we thought we wanted. But now that we've created this space for it, someone better even shows up. Because now you know that you are worthy and deserving of the best. And you know that no matter what, you do not have to settle in this life. You don't have to settle for anything in this life. Being single for a while, being alone for a while, does not mean anything negative. Does it mean you're not wanted? Does it mean there's something wrong with you? Does it mean you'll never find love? I don't care if you're 16, 26, 36, 46, 56. I don't care how old you are. Don't let societal or mean or like well-meaning people limit that for you. Your age does not, and being single doesn't define anything. Having children and being single does not define anything. I don't care what your circumstance is. Age, having children, not having children, I don't care. None of that, like we said before, takes away from your intrinsic value and worthiness. None of that. Nobody's choice and no circumstance makes you less worthy. The only thing that makes you less worthy is your own belief that you are. That's it. That's it. The only thing that actually makes you not worthy and deserving for love and everything you want in this world is your own belief that you're less than and not good enough. And that's why we switched our energy, we switched our psyche, we switched our time to be focused on ourselves, to pour love in ourselves, to choose ourselves, to create a compassionate relationship with ourselves, so that our core belief is, I am lovable, I am worthy, and I am deserving simply because I am. I am enough, period. And when energetically you show up for yourself like that, the world has no other choice but to show up for you that way. And people who cannot show up for you that way will fall by the wayside. And then new people will come into your life, new opportunities, new ways to level up. But it all begins with you, how you feel about yourself. So take your ex, take your specific person off of the pedestal. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Boo Boo. But what I'm saying is, in your life, you're center stage. You're on the pedestal. You decide who is worthy of your time, energy, presence, effort, body, X, Y, and Z. You become the chooser. Choose yourself first. And if somebody doesn't want to be with you, it has nothing to do with you. It is simply their choice. And we're all allowed to choose differently. And usually it means a couple of things. Usually it means one, it's God, universe, whatever you want to call it, showing you that there might be things in you that you need to work on. Maybe you do need to work on your self-love, your self-esteem, your self-concept, right? And that's fine. This is a journey. You don't just say, wake up one day, I love myself, and that's it. No, it's a daily choice. It's a daily journey, and we're all in it together. I don't do everything perfectly myself. I'm with you. I'm with you on this journey, right? So maybe it is, God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, showing you areas where you can improve on your self-worth. It could also be rejection protection. God, universe, whatever you want to call it, showing you that there's actually either a better version of this person, that you need to let this current version go in order to have that better version of your person. Because I truly believe that just because someone is your ex, I don't think that means that they can't be your future, but it has to be different than what the past was. And I also believe that just because someone is just friends or platonic or a situationship, that you can't change that, right? But there has to be some type of break. There has to be some type of work. There has to be some type of transformation to get the better, higher version of that person to show up for the higher, better version of yourself. Because right now, your low vibration and their low vibration is what is attracting each other, and that's why it's not working. Doesn't mean it's not going to work in the future. Doesn't mean it can't work quickly. But in this moment, it means you need to let them go, focus on yourself, create the space for the better version of them to show up for the better version of you. And then it could also mean that you need to create the space for someone else to come in or something else to come in. It's like that saying, that person who was like, God, I want a new car, but the whole time they had their old car in the garage. But the moment they took the old car out of the garage, a new car showed up because now there was space for it. You have to consciously create the space for what it is you want in your life. Like, I know for a while when I broke up with my ex, I didn't create the space for somebody else to come in because that wasn't where I was at. I didn't want to date anybody else. I didn't want to be with anybody else. So I consciously didn't create the space for it. But now I'm in a different place. So now I'm consciously creating the space for better version or for someone new to show up. And I'm excited for it. It's exciting to me. It's almost like a game. Like, who am I going to meet? What am I going to do? It's fun, right? But you have to know where you're at and what's best for you. But you can't receive anything that you don't create the space for. But we do this work to get it into a place to be ready and open to receive. And to be ready and open to create the space. And it's really about getting to know yourself, getting discernment on yourself, where am I actually in the place for what it is I want? And if I'm not, then it's time for me to work on me to get to that place. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually the most beautiful, most self-compassionate thing you can do for yourself is to look in the mirror and say, where am I actually at in my own life? And what are the things in my own life I want to work on and improve to create the space for what I know I'm worthy of and deserve? That's not weak. That's not any of those, weird things that people say when people are vulnerable and when people are authentic, right? We have those people that think when you actually are vulnerable and authentic, oh, you're weak, you're this, you're that. No, you're actually a really evolved human being. And you have enough emotional intelligence to take inventory, to take stock of where you're at. And then you actually have enough confidence in yourself to take action to get to where you want to be. So I applaud those people. So yeah, there you have it. There, why you should let go of your ex or your SP and what you should do instead. Don't forget to join us for our 7-day Level Up Your Life challenge. It kicks off on March 1st. It's only $22.22, which is such a magical number, 2222. And with that, you get so many freebies and bonuses. You get a digital copy of our self-love journal, which dropped. If you want the paperback version, you can click the link in the show notes or the description box. And you also get lifetime access to our Luxe VIP group. That price goes up to $29.99 per month, which is a nominal fee. Like, it's really not that much when you think about everything that you get. You get a supportive community, you get guided meditations, you get weekly coaching calls, you get access to our resource of self-care, self-love, and manifestation resources. You get so much. And if you join our 7-day Level Up Your Life challenge, you get it for free going forward. You only pay once and you don't ever have to pay again. So click that link below and join us. With that,
welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor, and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram @Candy Washington. Let's go!